So why did I quit being an independent broker to join EXP? Before I get into that, let me give you a little context, a little history of how I got to this point in my real estate career. But before we do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want more videos about how to build a real estate business, how to generate leads, how to scale a team, and how to do real estate investing. A little background on my career. I started off nearly a decade ago at Century 21. I sold over 22 million in my first year. I've written a best-selling book about that. I left Century 21 after that first year, went to Keller Williams, where I helped KERI build the #4 highest selling team in the world at Keller Williams at the time. And for the last 8 years, I've been an independent broker. Now, I recently joined EXP. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Florida with EXP, no longer an independent broker. And here are 6 reasons why I am no longer an independent broker and why I am at EXP. You really want to pay attention, by the way, to the 6th one. That is where the big opportunity is in this decision. Number 1, brick and mortar is very expensive to run. I've done a lot of other content on the big box brokerage model, right? I call it actually the big box brick and mortar model. I've done a lot of content on that. I've got a white paper out on that, some blogs, right? That model is very expensive to run. You know, you got to pay office, admin, all sorts of expenses come with that. And I think that's the reason why most people are better off, you know, with some rare circumstances, in this virtual model, which EXP is the pioneer and the first to do it at scale. The second reason why I am at EXP is because for years I have wanted to do expansion. I've tried to do it in Florida, thought about doing it in Florida, thought about doing it on a national level, and the brick and mortar model is a very hard model to expand. Several hundreds of thousands of dollars of startup capital for each location, right? Plus other expenses. And again, going back to point number 1, high cost, low margin, big capital expenditures to expand. You know, it takes a lot of brick and mortar, a lot of people. The EXP model is one of the best models I have ever heard of for expansion teams. So if you're good in sales in one area, want to scale that by teaching other people how to do it in other areas, you can do it that way. You can do lead gen for them, right? There's just tons of different ways to scale an expansion team through the EXP model. So if you want expansion, this is the model for you. The third reason I am at EXP right now and why I quit being an independent broker is because it is the first at this scale agent-owned real estate brokerage, right? There are plenty of other companies that claim to be agent-centric. Most of these companies, by the way, are less than 10% owned by the agents and the founders collectively, right? So that means 90% or more of the company is owned by Wall Street and by foreign investors. Guess what? If you are owned that much by outsiders, I don't see how you can be agent-centric, right? At EXP, approximately 70% of the company is owned by the founders and the agents. I think to be agent-centric, you need to be agent-owned. The fourth reason I am no longer an independent broker is because this EXP model is the best way I know to reduce your liability and reduce your risk, right? By getting rid of the broker responsibilities, the broker duties, I can now do sales, I can teach other people, help them build their sales organizations up, and I don't have the legal liability that the broker does, right? That is on EXP. I don't have the risk associated with that. They take care of that part for me, right? They take care of what could be the most disastrous part of the business. I can focus on what I love, sales and marketing, right? So I'm shedding that risk. I'm shedding that liability by going to this model. The fifth reason I am at EXP and no longer an independent broker is because of the training and the collaboration, right? In this model, I am plugging in the virtual world to over 80,000 agents, over 50 trainings a day right? There is plenty of training opportunities, more than you could ever take advantage of. And the top agents in the top markets are willing to plug in and share and collaborate, right? I don't think that exists in most big box, brick and mortar brokerage models. You don't typically have top agents sharing in the exact same office with other top agents. That has not been my experience in the companies I've been at and the other models I've heard of, right? I think at that local level, which EXP has eliminated, which I think has helped them tremendously. But I think at that local level, you run into sometimes office politics, sometimes jealousy, and I think that hinders collaboration. What you get at EXP is top agents plugging in virtually, training, collaborating, people helping each other. And I think it goes back to the point I mentioned a couple minutes ago in this video. It is agent owned, right? EXP rewards top producing agents with stock, right? When you hit a certain level of production, you get your cap back, which is very, very low to begin with compared to other brokerage models, but you get that cap back in the form of stock. You also can opt in to use a certain amount of your commission to buy stock at a discounted price. And the third way they give you stock is when you attract other agents. When other agents join because of you and they close their first deal, you get $400 worth of EXP stock. So there are 3 different ways that EXP agents acquire stock, and it is, again, like I mentioned before, approximately 70% owned by the agents and the founders. That is the scenario I think that you need to get true collaboration, because agents in, all sorts of different markets are willing to share, because when we do better, everyone does better in this agent-owned model. Now, the 6th reason why I am no longer an independent broker and I'm at EXP is because of the passive income opportunity. I'm talking about revenue share. EXP is the first model to grow at this scale by sharing revenue, right? They're not sharing profit, by the way, because other people have scaled with the profit model. But those models do not generate the same amount of income to the agents, right? Because they're sharing profit, and that profit comes after the local market center has paid for all of the huge brick and mortar expenses. So at EXP, compared to some of these other profit sharing models, you're getting revenue share that's approximately 6 to 10 times more in most cases than the profit share, right? So the revenue share is greater than the profit share. Why is that possible? Well, because EXP eliminated the expensive local brick and mortar layer. Now they, as a national company, can operate on approximately half of the revenue they bring in. The other half is used to reward the agents who bring other agents to the company that help it grow. It's the reason it's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. So that is an opportunity that excites me. Why? I've built up passive income streams. I've done flips. I have done short-term rentals, long-term rentals, all of which cash flow, but those take capital, right? I've got to put money. I've got liability. I've got risk. I've got short-term rental problems. I've got long-term rental problems. And I'm not saying don't do all that stuff. I think as a real estate agent, you should be doing at least 1 deal a year that you hold on to build that portfolio up. But at the end of the day, it takes money, it takes a lot of time, and you have liability, you have risk, you have bills, right? This passive income opportunity at EXP with revenue share, I think, in my opinion, by the way, so others may disagree, but I think it is the greatest opportunity for passive income in real estate that I've ever seen. And I've done big syndication deals, I've done short-term rentals, long-term rentals, I've helped develop over 400 homes at this point. This is the most exciting opportunity I've ever seen in real estate. So those are all the reasons why I'm at EXP. If you want to learn more about joining me at EXP, and about plugging into my coaching and training, which you get as a member of my group when I sponsor you at EXP, send me a text message at 703-638-4393. And if you want more videos on how to build a real estate business, how to generate leads, how to scale a team, how to invest in real estate, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.